Yes, sadly they do. And of course, who has to pick up the pieces so very often? It's the police, who are the street sweepers of criminality. That's their job. But of course, unfortunately, in recent years, due, some would say, to austerity, and I would suggest some also pretty catastrophic strategic decisions by senior police officers, the police have stopped patrolling the streets. There hasn't been a presence there. That neighbourhood Bobby, that cop on the high street, that cop being called into the shop to deal with a shoplifter, that simply hasn't happened. And so what's been the result of that? Thieves have been empowered. There has been a criminals charter, and people now go into our stores and steal with impunity. And when they are challenged, 850 times a week, a member of retail staff gets assaulted. It is utterly appalling. I completely agree with Mr. Murphy in rolling out body-worn videos for his staff. Something dramatic needs to be done.
Will that help, though?
Well, it will gather evidence, which will be a good thing. There has been some evidence gathered over the years that when police officers wear body-worn videos, it has de-escalated some situations. But if it's going to be used as an evidence-gathering tool, the question then is, who's going to conduct the prosecutions? Are the police going to turn up and arrest these people? Because we know that on 70% of occasions when there is an incident of serious shoplifting, that's one with aggravating factors like an assault, the police don't turn up. They simply do not attend. Now, we know policing is in crisis. There is a never-ending raft of catastrophic stories about policing, but they've got to get officers from behind desks. There's too many behind desks, and many of those officers have taken that cosy number because they didn't feel supported by their supervisors when they were on the front line. That has to change. If a police officer acts with the best of intentions and lawfully, they need to be supported by their management. Then they won't go looking for the cushy number. There is also a lot...
Have we gone too soft? And maybe I'm looking at the past through rose-tinted glasses. You'll know better than me, Peter. But the idea of if whether they're stealing or not, let's say a youngster is being abusive in a supermarket, being hauled out the front door by the collar by a police officer and given, frankly, a clip round the ear would have terrified me back in the day. Do we need to go back to that?
Well, the days of the clip round the ear are gone and will never be with us ever again, quite simply. But a figure of authority who was respected would be a figure that might be listened to. But sadly now, because our police are in cars going from one 999 call to another and not patrolling the streets, they're not seen, they're not known in communities, and respect for the police has diminished hugely. And there are some pretty reasonable factors as to why that has happened. But what, unfortunately, has happened in recent years, there's been a fluffiness, a wokery amongst senior police who have decided to surrender the streets to the criminals and not have officers patrolling. And this is one of the many, many consequences of that. And another thing, policing rewards failure. Only yesterday, there was a hugely damaging article about a beautiful village in Hampshire that has completely turned its back on its non-existent police service because they're not there. They don't provide a service. They don't turn up to investigate crimes like theft from retail outlets. But the chief constable of that very same police service got awarded a CBE in the King's latest honours list. Until this kind of chumocracy is dismantled, and until the police listen to voices of reason and they start to provide a service that the public want, then I'm afraid I don't see things getting better anytime soon.